Hello. Come on to a standing position. There are a couple of poses where blocks or a strap are useful, but I will offer you modifications if you don't have any props. So as you come to a standing position, have your feet parallel to each other, about hip distance apart. And now gently rock forward onto your toes and then roll back onto your heels and come forward and back, and then place your weight right in the middle, so you're not forward or back, you're just evenly distributed between front and back. And now roll to one side and then the other, and then come back to center so your weight is evenly distributed between each foot. Lift your shoulders up and then let your shoulders come behind you. Arms are engaged but relaxed. Legs are also engaged but relaxed. And breathe. Can you take a nice long slow inhale and a nice long slow exhale? So as we practice today, I invite you to practice from a place of non-judgment. It's easy to be hard on ourselves, wishing we could do more, thinking the pose is not good enough, being critical of ourselves. But I invite you to practice today without any judgment. Just practice for the sake of the practice. Don't worry about how the poses look. Just try your best, do the best you can. But if they don't turn out just the way you expect them to or want them to, try to look at that from a place of no judgment. There's a lovely quote by Rumi. It says, "Out beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." Bring your hands to your side, turn your palms out. As you inhale, reach your arms up over your head. As you exhale, bend your knees slightly, hinge at the hips, keep your spine straight, and fold forward. Inhale your arms out to the side, come all the way to standing. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Keep going at your own pace. Nice long, slow inhales and deep, slow exhales. Next time you're standing and your arms are over your head, pause here. With your left hand, hold your right wrist. Take your feet slightly wider. Let your hips roll to the right and bring your hands to the left. Draw your right elbow and shoulder back. Breathe. Back to center and switch sides. Right hand on left wrist. Reach your left fingers up towards the ceiling. Hips to the left, hands to the right. And breathe. And back to center. Release your arms. So we'll do a few breaths of joy. It's a completely safe breath work. What you do is you take 3 consecutive sips of air, inhaling through your nose without exhaling. So when you move your arms to the inhales like this, they're short, quick inhales. And then on an exhale, you bend your knees and fold forward, exhaling through the mouth like this, without hitting the wall behind you. And the whole thing looks like this. So come on up with me and we'll begin. Inhale, your arms forward, to the side, all the way up. Exhale, fold. Again. couple more times. As you exhale, fold and stay here. And let your head, your shoulders, your arms melt towards the mat. And breathe. Maybe straightening one leg and then the other. Maybe staying where you are. On your next inhale, reach your arms out to the side. Come all the way to standing. Lift your arms up over your head. Hands to your heart. And release. Come onto the front of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. On an inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Knees are soft. As you exhale, send your hips back. Lead with your chest and fold forward. On your next inhale, come halfway up in Ardha Uttanasana. Nice straight spine. If your spine is rounding, bend your knees slightly to straighten your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Place each hand on the mat and step each foot back to plank. So your wrists are directly below your shoulders. Throughout this practice, you're welcome to practice plank with your knees off the ground, or you can place them on the mat. Have a nice straight line between your shoulders, hips, and knees if your knees are on the mat. Otherwise, straighten your knees and straight line shoulders, hips to heels. Bend your elbows, keep your elbows close to your rib cage, and slowly lower down to the mat. Come onto the tops of your feet. Hands just light on the mat. Look forward. On an inhale, reach your chest forward and up, shoulders back. Breathe. Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Slowly lower down. Place your hands by your side. You can actually have your palms up or down. I like them down. Point your toes, keeping your legs straight. Lift your legs right up off the mat. And now look straight ahead. Reach your shoulders, arms. Come up off the mat as much as you can. Breathe. And then slowly come down. Place your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Lift your whole body up through plank and then to downward facing dog. Breathe here. Bend one knee and then straighten the other and switch. Look past your hands and walk your feet forward to your hands. As you inhale, come halfway up. As you exhale, fold. Your next inhale, reach your arms out to the side, all the way to standing. Bring your palms together at your heart. And release. Inhaling, reach your arms up over your head. Exhaling, fold forward. Breathe here. Try to keep your spine straight. Bend your knees if you have to bend anything. Inhaling, come halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, fold forward. Place your hands on the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Wrist creases parallel to the front of the mat. Step back to plank. Palakasana. Breathe here. Slowly, keep your elbows close to your rib cage as you lower down to the mat. The slower you go, the more challenging it is. Point your toes, hands light on the mat, look straight ahead, and come up into Cobra. Energetically push your chest forward. Draw your shoulders back. Breathe here. Tuck your toes. And lift your body up through plank to downward facing dog. Hands and feet are all set up for downward facing dog from plank. And now, from here, lower one arm onto the mat and then the other, so your elbows are on the mat, and bring your palms together, interlacing your fingers. And now lift your hips up and back, send your shoulders back towards in the direction of your feet, lifting your hips up higher. Breathe here. Release your hands. Place your one hand and then the other on the mat and come back into downward facing dog. Look past your hands and walk your feet forward to your hands and fold forward. Inhaling, reach your arms out to the side. Come all the way to standing, arms up over your head. Hands to your heart. And release. So have your feet hip distance apart. I'll show you from the side and then also from the front. So your feet are hip distance apart. Start with your hands on your hips. And bend your knees and send your hips back, sitting down into an imaginary chair. You want your knees back as far as you can away from your knees. You don't want your knees out in front of your toes. It's just a lot easier on your knees. And then sit up nice and tall, sit back. You can keep your hands on your hips or bring your palms together at your heart, or option to bring your arms out front. Coming into Utkatasana. If your arms out front, draw your shoulders back. And then from here, in whatever version of the pose you are, option to stay here, or here, or here. Breathe. And now energetically, hug your ankles and knees together towards each other. And now push them away from each other. Breathe. Just a couple more breaths. Maybe sit more deeply. And now as you exhale, fold forward. Breathe. Inhaling, reach your arms out to the side. Come all the way to standing. Hands to your heart. And release. So keeping your feet right where they are, bring your palms together at your heart. Bend your knees and sit back into that imaginary chair, and then sit up nice and tall. And now lean forward, keeping your spine straight. So your hips are back, lean forward. And from here, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, cross your right elbow over your left knee and twist to the left. Now take a look at your knees and draw your right knee back if you have to keep your knees in line with each other. And then come on back to center. Breathe, keep your toes soft. On an exhale, twist to the other side. Left elbow over right knee and twist to the right. And then back to center. As you exhale, fold forward. And breathe. Can you fold forward any more? On an inhale, reach your arms out to the side, all the way to standing. Lift your arms up over your head. Hands to your heart. And release. Come on to the front of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. Step your right foot straight back behind you. Hands on hips. Bend your left knee. Now look straight ahead. Bring your right hip forward, left hip back. Inhaling, reach your arms up over your head. Breathe. Maybe deepen the lunge. Lower both hands to the mat and step your right foot back as far as you can go, and then lower that right knee to the mat. Send both hips forward and breathe. And this is where, if you don't need blocks here, but if you like to have blocks, you can place your hands on blocks. If you're using blocks, you can take them with you as you walk your hands back and straighten the left leg. Draw that left hip back, flex those left toes towards you. Find your breath. Lower your left foot to the mat as you bend your left knee. Walk your hands forward. Now lift your hands up and bring your palms to your chest. I'll show you from the front what it looks like. So left knee is bent. Twist to the left, place a right elbow to the outside of the left knee and gently twist and look behind you. Breathe. Come on back to center and lower both hands to the inside of the foot. Bend your elbows and lower your chest towards the floor. Press into the big toe mound of your left foot. Hug that left knee to the left shoulder. And breathe. And then straighten your arms. On an inhale, reach both arms up over your head, sending both hips forward. Now lower both hands to the mat, tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up off the mat, adjust the right foot so you can balance your weight on both feet. On an inhale, reach your arms up over your head, keeping that left knee bent. Bring your palms together at your chest, lean forward, and we're twisting to the left again. So twist to the left, right elbow comes to the outside of the left leg, and then gently twist to the left. And breathe. Maybe straighten that right leg. Come on back to center. Lower both hands to the mat. Bend your right knee and step your right foot forward to meet your left. And fold. Place both hands on the mat. And now, bending your right knee, step your left foot straight back behind you. As you inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Maybe bending that right knee a bit more. Draw the left hip forward, right hip back. Find your breath. Lower both hands to the mat. Step the left foot back as far as you can, and then lower that left knee to the mat. And now send both hips forward. You want to make sure your right knee is above or behind your right ankle. If it's going past, then slide the left knee back. And breathe. And again, you can use blocks here if you prefer. If you're using blocks, you can take them with you. As you walk your hands back, straighten the right leg. Really draw that right hip back. Flex those right toes towards you. Bend your right knee, walk your hands forward again. On an inhale, reach your arms up over your head, still sending your hips forward. Now bring your palms together at your chest, lean forward, and now twist to the right, drawing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and then twist. And breathe. Still sending the hips forward. And come on back to center. Place both hands on the mat, tuck your left toes under, lift the left knee up off the mat, and adjust the left foot over to the left a bit to balance your weight on both feet. On an inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Deepen that lunge. Now bring your palms together at your heart. Lean forward with your torso. Draw your left elbow to the outside of the right knee and twist to the right. And breathe. Come on back to center. Lower both hands to the mat and step the left foot forward to meet the right. And fold forward. As you inhale, arms out to the side, come all the way to standing. Bring your palms together at your heart and release. Turn and face the side and take your feet fairly wide, toes pointed out at a 45-degree angle. Bend your arms and bring your elbows the same height as your shoulders, palms facing each other. Toes are soft, feet are engaged but relaxed. Bend the knees. And now just double check, adjust your feet so your knees and feet are pointing in the same direction. Option to stay here or maybe sit more deeply in goddess pose. Find your breath. Practice without any judgment. Find contentment with right where you are right now. Breathe here and lower your arms and straighten your legs. Pivot on your toes and send your heels out. So now you're in a nice wide stance. Pivot on your right heel and turn your right toes out. Place your hands on your hips and bend your right knee. Try to keep your hips and shoulders parallel to the ground and shoulders directly above your hips. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Bring your arms out to the side and breathe. So reach your fingers towards the away from you and then draw your shoulder blades together. Press down into the feet. Press down into the mat with your feet and maybe even hug the feet together. Breathe. Look over your right fingertips. Now reach forward with your right fingertips. Right forearm can rest. Just hover over the right thigh. And now bring your left arm up over your head. Open that left shoulder back. Option to stay here or add the second arm. Lower your arms and straighten your leg. Bring your arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Arms and legs are straight. Turn and look over your right hand and reach forward with your right hand. Keep that right leg straight. Go as far as you can and then let your right arm come down and lift your left arm up. In Trikonasana. Breathe here. Come on back up to standing and lower your arms. Pivot on the right heel and bring the right toes in. On an inhale, reach your arms out to the side, palms facing forward. As you exhale, keep your spine straight, hinge at the hips, and fold forward just halfway. So shoulders are roughly the same height as your hips. You can stay here or option to reach your arms out front. Breathe. Bring your arms back out to the side, palms facing down. Come on up to standing and lower your arms. Pivot on your left heel and turn your left toes out the other way. Start with your hands on your hips and bend your left knee. Keep your spine vertical, shoulders stay directly above your hips. Now check in with your left knee and foot. Make sure they're pointed in the same direction. And if your left knee is passing your ankle, Heel toe your right foot back to make a wider stance. Bring your arms out to the side, palms facing down. Draw your shoulder blades in as you stretch your fingers away from you. Turn and look over your left hand. And breathe. Practice without any judgment. Just make sure your internal voice is being kind to whatever you're doing. And now reach forward with your left hand. Left forearm can hover on the left thigh and reach your right arm up over your head. Try not to lean or collapse into this left arm. Draw that right shoulder back. You can stay here or option to add the second arm. Breathe. Lower your arms and straighten your leg. Bring your arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Turn and look over your left hand, keeping your arms and legs straight. Reach forward with your left fingertips. Go as far as you can, and then let your left arm come down and reach your right arm up. Find your breath. And then come on up to standing and lower your arms. Pivot on your left heel and bring your left toes in. And slowly heel toe your feet together. So we'll come into tree pose. And then we will be transitioning from tree pose into warrior three. So practice without any judgment. If you fall out of these balancing poses, just try again and do the best you can. So root down into your left foot. Come onto the toes of your right foot, hands on hips. Turn your right knee out to the side and slide the sole of the right foot to the left ankle. You can stay here for tree pose, or place the sole of your left foot and press it into your calf, or bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. But if it does not make it to the inner thigh, make sure that foot is not near the knee. Option to keep your hands on your hips, or bring your palms together at your heart, or reach your arms up over your head. Find your breath. Standing knee is soft. And now slowly release your right foot. Send your right foot straight back behind you. Flex that right foot. And then when you're ready, focus your gaze in front of you on the floor. And then slowly lift your right leg up as you bring your torso forward. And breathe. And now, without letting the right foot touch the ground, if you can, come back to standing. Lift the right knee up and hug the right knee to the chest. Release that foot and slowly lower down. And we'll do the other side. The other side may be harder or easier for you. We'll find out. So place the sole of the right foot on the mat and come onto the toes of the left foot. You can have your hands wherever you want to begin. I like my hands on my hips. And now turn the left knee out to the side and bring the sole of the left foot to the right ankle. Maybe on this side, you stay right here. Focus your gaze on a spot in front of you. Standing knee is soft. Or bring the sole of the left foot and press it into the calf or the inner thigh. But avoid the knee. Find the best position for your arms. And breathe. Find softness within the framework of strength. And then slowly extend your left leg out behind you. Flex your left toes. your left foot. Now lean forward with your torso, lifting your left leg up behind you, coming into Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Now come on back up and hug your left knee to your chest. And breathe. If you come out of the pose, just try again. And slowly lower that foot to the mat. From here, take a nice deep inhale, lifting your arms up over your head. Knees are soft. As you exhale, fold forward and let it go. Inhale, lift all the way to standing. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and release. Feet hip distance apart at the front of the mat. On an inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up, nice flat back. Exhale, fold both hands on the mat, step back to plank. And breathe. Either version of plank pose. Find your breath. Elbows are soft so that you're really using your arm muscles to support yourself. Keep your elbows close to your rib cage and slowly lower down to the mat. Come onto the tops of your feet. Look straight ahead. On an inhale, I use my abdominal muscles for this more than your hands on the mat. Hands just support you. On an inhale, reach your chest forward and up, shoulders back. Tops of the feet flat on the mat. Slowly lower down, tuck your toes, and lift your whole body up through plank. For a little extra challenge, if you wish, lift your knees up off the mat first, elbows close to your rib cage. Push right into the mat with your hands. Use your abdominal muscles and lift through plank to downward facing dog. And breathe here, maybe walking out the dog. Now for this next sequence in downward facing dog, you're welcome to just stay right here, maybe reaching your hips up and back, bending your knees or straightening your knees, inviting your heels to the mat. Or walk your feet together, bend your right knee, and bring your right knee forward and touch your right elbow. Don't let your foot touch the mat. And then come back to downward facing dog. Bend your right knee, round your back, and touch your nose with your right knee. And back to downward facing dog. And now, bring your right knee across and touch your left elbow. And then back to down dog. And just walk out the dog. And now bend your left knee. Bring your left knee forward and touch your left elbow. Back to downward facing dog. Round your back, left knee to nose. And back. And finally, cross over, touch your left knee to your right elbow. Breathe. And then back to downward facing dog. Lower both knees to the mat. Come on to the tops of your feet, so point your toes. And gently lower your hips to your heels. And reach your arms, hands forward. Find your breath. And then, keeping your arms forward, lift your hips up over your knees. Walk your knees together if they're not already there. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees up off the mat and walk your feet forward to your hands and fold forward. Walk your feet close together. Reach behind your legs. Either grab onto your hands, maybe your wrists, or possibly your elbows. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And maybe have your torso resting on your thighs. And then from here, see if you can straighten your legs. And find your breath. Release your hands. Place your hands on the mat and come onto your hands and knees. If you have a strap, keep it handy by the side. And now lower right onto your belly. So we're coming into bow pose, Dhanurasana. So where you may need the strap is if you lift one leg up. So lift your right leg up. With your right hand, reach behind and grab your ankle. It's a bigger chest opener if you reach the inside of your ankle, thumb up. You can also turn your thumb down and grab the outside of the ankle. Both are fine. But if you can grab your ankle, you don't need the strap. If you cannot, place the strap around the ankle like this, and then you pull the strap forward. So come onto your belly, with or without a strap handy, and lift your right leg up off the mat. Reach behind with your right hand, either grabbing the inside or the outside of the strap. And now place your left arm straight in front. Left leg stays straight, and bring your knees together. Now look straight ahead, and with the strap or your hand, lift your right foot up off the mat and kick that right foot back towards the back wall. Left foot stays on the mat. Reach forward with your left hand and lift your left arm up while it's straight. Open your chest and kick your right foot back towards the back wall. And breathe. Keep your knees hip distance apart. Right foot is flexed. And then release and come on down. And we'll do the other side. So just start, you can start with your elbows. Now lift your left foot up. Reach your left arm behind and see if you can grab this ankle, but bring the knees together. And either grab the ankle with your hand or place a strap around the ankle so you can pull it, the strap with your hand. Now reach your right arm out front. Keep your right leg flat on the mat, knees together. Lift your left foot up. With your left arm, reach behind and grab that left ankle, knees together. When you're ready, lift your left knee up off the mat, kick the left foot towards the back wall, and reach your right arm forward off the mat. Come up as high as you can and breathe. And then release and come on down. Now just bend your knees and windshield wiper your feet back and forth. And then back to center and lower your feet. Now for this next version, we're going to bring both feet together. You may prefer to put a strap around both feet and then you pull the strap forward. Or I'll do it twice so that you can do, if you prefer, stay with one foot and then the other. Because doing them together is a little intense, but give it a shot and practice without judgment. So onto your belly, lift one foot up and reach behind and grab that ankle. Maybe you take the outside of the ankle this time. It's just a tiny bit easier than on the inside. And either, if you're doing one at a time, left arm out front and lift everything, or now reach the left hand behind, grabbing the left ankle, but bring the knees together, feet together. Look straight ahead. When you're ready, kick your feet back, lift your knees up high off the mat as you can, and draw your shoulders back, chest forward. Dhanurasana. Look straight ahead. Breathe. Can you lift your knees any higher? Can you kick your feet back any further? And release. And come on down. Take a couple of breaths. Windshield wiper your feet back and forth. We'll do it one more time. If you did one side, now do the other. And if you're doing both together, reach each hand, grab the ankle. However you're doing it, feet are flexed. Bring your knees together. When you're ready, lift your knees up off the mat, kick your feet towards the back wall, open your chest, and look straight ahead. And breathe. Knees together. One more breath. And release. Come on down. And windshield wiper your feet each side. And then back to center. Place your hands on the mat. Lift up through tabletop. And then come onto your backs. If you have a block, keep it handy. Keep it by your side. Come onto your back and gently hug your knees together. Rock side to side. Massaging your lower back. And then lower your feet to the mat. Keep your feet as close to you as you can. We'll come into supported bridge for a second. If you don't have a block, this will be more of a chest opener up above with your shoulders. If you do have a block, or you can also roll up a towel or a blanket and just have it a thin towel 3 or 4 inches wide, stacked 3 or 4 inches high. Whatever you're using, lift your hips up and slide the block under your hips. Make sure it does not touch your lower back, so it's really right down on your hips. And then arms rest by your side, palms up, and breathe. If you're not using any prop, or even if you are, open your chest, lift your chest up, and then walk your shoulder blades together, and then let your body rest. Feet are flat on the floor. Knees are hip distance apart or closer. And breathe in supported bridge. Now softly, gently lift your hips up and remove whatever prop you're using and lower your hips to the mat. Keep your feet where they are, knees bent. If you can, walk your heels even closer to your sit bones. Arms by your side. Press down into your big toe mound, so keep your knees hip distance apart or closer. You don't want your knees coming out to the side. As you inhale, lift your hips up off the mat. Can you lift them up any higher? As you exhale, slowly lower them back down. This time, as you inhale, lift your hips up off the mat as much as you can. Open your chest and walk your shoulder blades together. Can you lift your hips up any higher? Press into the mat with your big toes. Interlace your fingers together and then reach your knuckles towards your toes. Open your chest and lift your hips up even higher. Breathe. Release your arms, slowly lower down, and gently hug your left knee to your chest. Straighten your right leg as you draw your left knee into your chest. And then switch sides, draw your right knee into your chest as you straighten your left leg. And breathe. And then drop both knees into your chest. Keeping your feet together, move your knees away from you. And with your hands, hold on to either your shins, your ankles, maybe the outside of your feet. and pull your feet towards you. With your elbows, push your knees away from you. Find your breath. And then lower your feet back down to the mat. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat. Lift your right leg up. Keep that right foot flexed, not pointed but flexed. Place your right ankle and place it on top of your left thigh. Push your right knee away from you. Now lift your left foot up off the mat. Reach behind your left leg and pull that knee towards you. Use your right elbow to push your right knee away from you. Breathe. And release that foot. Now cross your right knee completely over your left. And then move your feet away from you. So your left foot is going to your right side. Your right foot is going to your left. So it looks like this, except you're laying down. And with your left hand, grab your right ankle. Right hand, grab the left ankle. Keep the feet flexed and pull your feet towards you. And breathe. And then release your feet, uncross your legs, lower both feet to the mat, and now place the left ankle onto the right thigh. Keep that left foot flexed. Push your left knee away from you. Lift your right foot up off the mat and reach behind your right thigh and pull that right knee towards you. And with your left elbow, push that left knee away from you. And find your breath. And then release your right knee. Cross your left knee completely over your right. So hopefully your knees are almost touching. And with each hand, grab the ankle on that side and pull those feet towards you. Keep the feet flexed, not pointed. This is reclined cow face pose. Supta Gomukhasana. And then release your feet, uncross your legs, reach behind your knees, and just rock along your spine and come up to a seated position. And so now straighten your right leg. Keep those right toes pointed straight towards the ceiling. Bring the sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. Take your left hand behind you, roll onto your left knee, lift your hips up off the mat, and reach your right arm up and back. And stretch. And then slowly lower your hips back down. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees bent. Grab your ankles. Lengthen your spine so your spine is nice and straight. As you exhale, lean forward with your chest. If your elbows are anywhere near your thighs, push your knees open a little more with your elbows. Find your breath. And then come on back, straighten your left leg, bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Take your right hand behind you on the mat, roll onto your right knee, lift your hips up and reach your left arm up and back over your head. And breathe. And lower your hips back down. Now straighten your right leg, so both legs are straight. Reach under your thighs and just internally rotate your thighs. Keep your feet pointing straight up. If you can sit here with your spine straight, send your chest forward and walk your hands forward on the mat. If your back is rounding a lot, start with your hands behind you, placing your hands on the mat behind you, straighten your spine. And then with your hands, press into the mat and push your chest forward. Or walk your hands forward. Press your knees into the mat, flex your toes towards you. Breathe. Can you let go a little bit more? And then come on back up and bring your feet together. Come onto your back, knees bent. Arms can rest by your side or out in a T position. Lift your legs up so they're L-shaped position and point your toes. We'll be slowly lowering the feet back down to the mat. As soon as your toes touch, start slowly coming back up. Or you can straighten your legs if that feels okay on your lower back, and then come on up. Do whatever is right for you. You know your core and your body best. So if you're not sure about your back, keep your knees bent. And we will begin. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lower your toes towards the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap and come on back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back down. 3, 2, 1. Up. 3, 2, 1. And down. And up. And a couple more times. Down. Last time up. And gently hug your knees to your chest and rock side to side. And circle your knees. And pause and go the other direction. And then come to center. Keeping your knees bent, flex your feet and point the soles of your feet up to the ceiling and take your knees wide. Take your hands and bring your hands in between your legs so your elbows are to the inside of your knees, and then reach beside, grab the outside of each foot and rock side to side. And happy baby. And now lower both feet to the mat, arms out away from your body. Slide your hips over to the right. Let your knees roll to the left and turn your gaze and look over your right arm. If you wish, you can close your eyes or keep them open. Just relax into this gentle twist. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Now slide your hips over to the left. Let your knees roll over to the right, and then turn and look over your left arm. Gently bring your knees back to center. Straighten your legs and straighten your arms up over your head. Really give yourself a full big stretch. Stretching your body as much as you can, as much as you need. And now, keep your hips where they are and walk your feet over to the right side. Legs are straight. And now walk your arms and shoulders over to the right. With your right hand, you can hold onto your left wrist if you wish, and stretch. And then back to center. Walk your feet over to the left, shoulders over to the left, maybe grabbing your right wrist with your left hand. And then come on back to center. Rest your arms by your side. If you want to get a sweater or a blanket or an eye pillow for Shavasana, do so now. And let your body fully melt into your mat. Relax your whole body and let go. Gently soften your gaze or close your eyes. Come into stillness. Out beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Rumi. Bring awareness to your fingers. Notice your toes. Gently move your arms and legs. Now reach your arms over your head and stretch your whole body from top to bottom. Just stretch in any way that feels right for you. And then softly hug your knees to your chest. Maybe your eyes are still closed as you roll to your right side. Pause here for as long as you need before slowly coming up to a seated position. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.